Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello everybody, I'm MarkeeDragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and thank you for joining me this Friday evening. I posted, it's very apparent the issues and the thoughts that I've had about the War Z, about how the game has greatness, but how the developers have dumbness, and the fact that it is, just a travesty to see how a game that has so much potential possibly is, just being wrecked by the idiocy of their outflow of information going to the public, and their lack of information going to the players, and their lack of listening to the players. And so I decided that I watched Kriparian the other day, and he trolled everybody with these Diablo 2 this giveaway. So he's like, I think we're going to do some prize giveaways for Christmas and stuff like that. And he says, I've got this old candy wrapper here, which I'm going to give as a prize. And then I've also got this apple that I'm going to give as a prize. And, oh yeah, I ate half of this container of nuts, and that's going to be another prize. And so he, and then he turns the camera onto these two limited edition signed collector's edition boxes of Diablo 3 that were sent to him by Blizzard. And he's like, actually, I'm going to give these away. Well, so that just gave me the idea of, why don't I just troll everybody and say, hey, War Z, what if I could build this game? And I posted this yesterday. This was last night's video, and it was basically, I said that I was announcing my own game that is going to be made by MarkeeDragon, and I put in the description a line down, a line below, where it reads saying "Show more," that actually everybody, you've just been trolled. And that at the end of it, I say, I talked about, okay, what if we could build a zombie game, an apocalyptic game that was, an MMO, that was something where, resources were scarce, and where people congregated in certain areas, and you didn't know if you could trust people, and other players would kill you for what you've got. And the, basically that a lot like War Z, not exactly the same, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and so and then at the end I'm like, F you, War Z, you're screwing everything up. We could do so much better on customer service and everything, and we'd actually listen to our players, and we would actually implement stuff that they want. Yes, we would make money with the game, but we wouldn't do it at the expense of fun. And, just like the whole tangent that I got off on them adding this 4-hour death timer as opposed to the 1 hour that they had, and then making you pay to bypass the timer. And so I decided that I was going to and then I'm like, well, this isn't gonna really happen, and but wasn't that fun? We've just trolled War Z. So here's the deal. I didn't expect this, but I got 240 comments in less than 24 hours of people saying they're willing to donate money to the project, that we should do a Kickstarter, of saying that they had resources to do, and to commit, and that they wanted to be in on making this game. And I thought to myself, this was just really meant to be a troll. This is not a I wasn't really serious. Now, I have talked a lot in the past about, you know, making a game and everything, and you guys keep saying, Markee, you should make a game. And so it's kind of funny, but with all of this response from you guys, I look at this and I say, you know what? We should take a look at this. And Iolo, come here. Come here. She's meowing at the door. She wants in here, and now she meows at the door. Come here. Come on. No? Okay. So, anyway, I'll probably have to let her out in a moment. So, in fact, I'm going to let her out right now, because she's just annoying the crap out of me while I'm trying to talk. Don't go anywhere. Okay, here. Let's go out. Go on. Go on. Okay, sorry about that. So, I shouldn't have had her in here in the first place. So, the fact is that there was such a response from all of you on this that it was kind of like, okay, we need to take a look at this. So, now I have experience with the tool, which I've mentioned before, and there's a link in the description to it. It's called the No-Brainer, and this is the tool right here. So it's an innovation tool, and it also, though, does. I pulled out some old stuff. You know, I took a class on how to use this and how to lead people through it, and I actually found some promotional material that I had that I'd forgotten about. And so this innovation tool is used to investigate, create, evaluate, and then activate. Now, what that means is that if we really wanted to make a game, then I have the ability to actually look at, gather all this information together and say, okay, is it possible? We can actually evaluate whether or not you and I, could put together the resources to make this happen. And so that is the topic for tonight, whether or not we want to embark on designing a game. Now, this tool will, I'll be able to lead us through multiple things. One is coming up with an idea for a game, and the Greedmonger Z. I'm looking at the chat room. Yes, thank you. By the way, I am going to be asking you for your opinions on this, and the official place that I'm looking is on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, please check out the link in the description to get to the Twitch chat. And so you can, in fact, if you want to continue watching on YouTube, you can, or you can watch it on Twitch, and you can pop the chat out if you want in the little gear that's in the bottom of it. So here's the deal. If we wanted to make a game, we first got to come up with what the game is. Then we need to say, okay, these are the kind of general parameters for it. We would brainstorm on this. And we could have, all this different stuff that that would allow us to kind of build this foundation for a game. And then we can go through all of this and figure out, start going through this cycle, and it will allow us to not only come up with a game that people want to play, but to evaluate whether or not people will play it, to evaluate whether or not people will spend money on it, to fund the whole thing, and whether or not it even has longevity, whether or not we have the technical ability to do it, whether or not we have the resources, all of that. And so I want to get calls from you tonight, and let's talk about making a game. So let's talk about, whether or not, what is a good idea for a game, whether or not zombie apocalypse MMO is what we should be doing, or whether or not that is completely off topic and we should be doing something else. What is on the mind of those of you? What game do you want to play? And when we identify what it is you want to play, that is what we build. And so call me tonight and let's talk about these games that we want to make. And then also, after we've got all this put together, I'm going to contact some of my video game publisher friends and say, hey, have we got something here? Because if we do, let's move forward with this. And then if we do have something like that, it's a little dry, but we all together can go through and step by step and evaluate all of this stuff and produce our full outline for a game. It'll be like a whole snapshot. It's like when we're done, we will have the full outline for a game that will work. We'll know where all of our resources are coming from. We'll know what resources we need. All of that stuff. And so that is my my hope tonight. So, okay, well, so give me a call now, and we shall talk about this, and it will be, I think, fun. So, and of course, the first caller, I'm going to have to set him up. So, oh my, look at that. Graham.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you're on the air. Do you have video? You do. Okay.
Yep.
So, since you are the first video caller, give me just a second to set up the screen here.
No worries.
And, well, that doesn't look too bad, but that's not what I had in mind. So, let's see here. Okay. And, okay, so that is looking good. Guest via Skype. Would that be you?
And sorry, what was that? Oh, there you go.
So, okay. So now, Graham, you and I go back quite a ways.
Yeah, a long period of time.
Yeah, and so now you've been, you're actually kind of in the video game industry in the fact that you're making a living off of it, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm also, I don't know, I've been doing it since I was like 3 or 4, so I'm pretty highly invested into it in terms of my hobby. It's not just like, I make a living off of it, but it's also my hobby, so.
Okay, so I'm going to fix this camera just a little bit here. Look at that. There's 2 of you. Oh, my God. So, yeah, there we go. Okay. So, Graham, what is, what piques your interest about what I've said so far about making a game?
Well, I mean, it's something like something that I would even be willing to back, because that's something I've always been interested in getting involved in. I mean, maybe not necessarily like the nitty gritty, like the design work and all that stuff, but brainstorming all that kind of stuff, the ideas, I guess the framework of the game itself, and then I feel like the zombie apocalypse niche is kind of saturated, but I think there's room for innovation in it, because I don't know, I feel like War Z feels a little bit clunky, and Daisy's very, very, I mean, you kind of have to be meticulous in Daisy. It's very, very complicated and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a way to take elements from both of those games and make something that's potentially better than both of them. And I guess it's just getting the traction and the following to get that going.
Right.
AZ, for instance, they had Arma 2, which they had an engine pre-built, and they just built mods for it. But War Z, I mean, I don't know their background and how they got started, but
yeah, it's engine off of War Inc. So another game that they did, and I think that the games don't have to actually match. In fact, so there's when we talk about making a game and making it like something else. War Z gets beat up all over the place because they keep saying that you guys stole everything from DayZ.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to be accused of stealing ideas and stuff. I mean, a zombie apocalypse is nothing new. I mean, we had that even back in the 70s. There was movies that came out about zombie apocalypse, and Minecraft has been really popular as far as, Minecraft could even be a zombie apocalypse. I mean, really, there's zombies running around trying to eat your brains, and, or actually, they don't say brains, they say brrr. Like they're cold or something.
Yeah.
And so, I think, though, that any game that we did would be able to take the best elements of something else and put them together. It's a mashup. There was a site Mashable or whatnot.
I think I heard of it.
Yeah, and there's some other stuff where people would make innovative combinations, and they would just kind of screw around, and they'd say, "What happens if we added a banana and ice cream?"
I mean, it's just like you said, it's a mashup, and if you find something that works, you run with it. And that's not stealing ideas. It's just taking two things that nobody thought would go together, combining them and being like, this actually works, and then running with it. That's what being an entrepreneur is. I mean, that is actually what it is. And I think there's definitely room for that kind of innovation in the scene and then in that niche, the zombie apocalypse niche. And I feel like that's something that like if you got to the point where you start getting traction with it and you actually listen to the community, which I know you would, because that's basic. I mean, you're about community building.
That's how I've made a living.
Exactly.
Is listening to other players.
Exactly. So I feel like if you got the traction and the resources and all that stuff and got the framework laid out, you'd be able to do everything else. It's just getting to that point. So I don't know how you're going to approach that situation, whether it's a Kickstarter or you're going to approach somebody and ask for an angel investment or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to help, and I know a bunch of the people in chat are probably willing to help as well. You said you got all those comments on YouTube. I mean,
right? Yeah. I was really surprised by this. In fact, let's see here. Let's see here. I just want to read some of these combats. That's one of the words in one of them. Let's see. A great zombie game, in my opinion, is basically the realism of DayZ War Z environment in an open world with the COD. I don't know what COD is. Zombies' behavior this way. Can have fun and strategize.
He's talking about COD, by the way.
COD. Call of Duty. Okay. And then other people saying they'd support this on Kickstarter. And, let's see. A modern age zombie apocalypse survival game is what they want. Sounds like taking on Blizzard. I'm not sure it has to be that big of a project. I think that one thing has been proven is that it doesn't take an incredible amount of money, and it doesn't take an incredible amount of tact to make a good game.
Oh,
because the War Z guys have made a great game. They just are dumb in the way that they're administering it.
I mean, it's like, with the money thing, like, I don't know if you saw it, but PlayStation 3 had a game called Journey on it. And they did it on a dirt budget, and it was Game of the Year this year. And
Wow.
it's an indie game. And I mean, it's probably one of the coolest games I've ever seen in terms of innovation and storyline. But you don't. I mean, you can create an indie game with an indie studio, and like as long as you have the people that are willing and devoted to put in the time, you can do something great with it.
Okay. So, Graham, tell me your vision. If you were the one leading the team, what kind of game would you make? Anything.
Anything. So
anything.
anything. I don't really want to sound like I'm a follower, I guess, because I'm really not, but in nature. But I would actually I actually legitimately like the idea of a zombie apocalypse game, but I feel like there's like I feel like a zombie apocalypse game inside of a big city would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, like did you ever see I Am Legend?
Yes.
How many epic scenes were in that movie where it was just sheer panic? You were running through, where he was running through hallways and he didn't know his way out of buildings and stuff like that. Like, and the same thing with The Walking Dead. Do you watch The Walking Dead, perchance?
Oh yeah. There's panic all the time in that show.
And maybe or not, like my favorite scenes in that are when they're in the prison and they're trying to find their way out and zombies are chasing them. And also, like with these zombie games, I don't like the fact that zombies aren't dense at all in numbers. Like they're very sporadic. It's like one or two zombies every like 20, 30 yards. I like those situations where you get cornered in a room and there's 30 or 50 zombies coming at you, and you've got to fend them off. I don't know, like if I could build a game, it'd be that, and obviously I'd exclude all the buying crap. I understand the whole model of that, like pay to play, or not. Sorry, I guess people call it the pay to win model, but I'd exclude that, and like you said, make everything very sporadic. Loot and very dispersed in terms of like loot, so people actually had to fight over it, and that's one of the biggest problems I had with DayZ. Was I got to the point where I had everything in the game and surviving wasn't any fun anymore, because you just have everything stashed in a tent, and like okay, a hacker might come by and get it sometime, but like, or somebody might find it, but the thing is like, surviving in DayZ is way too easy, and same with WarZ. There has to be something that really compels you other than just surviving, and if they make that survival factor that much harder, like to the point where you actually, like there's a reason to get in engagements with other people, I feel like that, like you're on the brink of hunger every single time you enter the game. I feel like that would make for much more of a suspenseful game than the zombie apocalypse games that I see now.
Okay, so I'm putting down one check for zombies. So, okay, Graham, thank you very much for your opinion on that and your vision. And stay tuned, because we are, I think this may go someplace. We'll find out.
I hope so.
Yeah.
By all means. Okay,
thank you, Graham.
Have a good one.
Okay, so, Graham is a pretty good guy, and I think he's pretty smart. So, yeah. Okay, give me a call now, and you can be the next contestant on The Zombie is Right. Okay, so here we go.
Hello there.
Hello, Panda Banana.
Yes, nice to see you again.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, now, if you were going to develop a video game, what kind of game would you be making?
Well, I would make a completely different game than what you're aiming at, but that's just because of where my heart lies and where my interests lie.
So tell us where it is.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I've always been a part of the Warcraft 3 community, and from the Warcraft 3 community came games like Dota and League of Legends and Heroes of Newerth. And I always wanted to to take some of the older ideas from the Warcraft 3 community and adapt it into a third-party ARTS. Because I feel like...
And what is an ARTS?
Well, ARTS, AOS, MOBA, they all have the same name, Action Real-Time Strategy.
Okay.
And my reason for doing that isn't necessarily to follow the crowd, although it is a very popular upcoming genre. It's also because I played a lot of older games that really are, they've fallen into obscurity lately. And I feel like too many of the newer games are based on the Dota template. And I feel like there can be a lot of innovation in this brand new genre. But outside of that, I would definitely go with your idea. I like the zombie apocalypse MMO. And I was actually talking to some people in chat, and it brought up some ideas. But I had a question, a specific question for you. I said in one of my videos that Minecraft was my most favorite game of all time, and it was because it allowed the players to create their own objectives in a similar way to how Ultima Online worked. I did play Ultima, and I enjoyed it a lot, one of my favorite games. But I look at games like War Z and DayZ, and I feel like they're doing a similar thing. They instead of necessarily creating stories, they're simply creating tools and letting the players create their own stories, which I think is a great way to design games. But I feel like they're really different. Sorry, I'm having headphone problems. I feel like they're different in some way, and I'm struggling to figure out why. Because I really love Minecraft, but I could never really get into DayZ or War Z.
What if you could take a DayZ or War Z type of play and mesh it with the sandboxness of Minecraft, to where you are building the fortress, you're building the security, you are farming, resources, and I envision a little bit of, I don't care if we're all blocks running around. It's not the, Minecraft has shown us that you don't have to have the, ultra-modern graphics to do it. They're just one step above 16-bit graphics. I mean, they're just blocks. And now there's some texture packs that have come out to make it look really, really nice. But they've stayed true to their core. And, what if you could take that to where, in all actuality, Minecraft, the game, as it was originally meant, is you are placed out there with nothing but your bare hands, and you better damn well get some shelter before nightfall, or you're zombie food, or, creeper,
it's actually very
or
similar,
whatever.
yeah.
Yes, it is. And... so that's one of the reasons why stuff like DayZ and War Z is so popular, is because it is that whole survival thing. And, my heart really gets, pounding when I'm being chased by a shitload of zombies.
Yeah.
And, and I'm looking at a wall up ahead of me, and I'm going, damn, I don't know if I can jump it.
Yeah.
And so, but wouldn't it be cool to build a Minecraft zombie MMO?
I think that would be fantastic. Maybe not completely in a Minecraft way, but definitely taking some of the things that Minecraft has that DayZ and War Z don't necessarily have.
I do really like, though, the fact of being able to build your own structures.
Yeah.
And being able to dig a hole in the ground and all of that stuff, which DayZ and War Z do not have.
Yeah.
So, and I like the ability to grow crops, because you can farm trees, you can farm bamboo, there's, pumpkins, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And, what if these were all the ingredients for survival?
Actually, another person in chat was talking with me in a very similar vein to what I was talking about earlier. There was a custom map called Island Troll Tribes in Warcraft 3, which was basically Minecraft before Minecraft came out. It was a competitively multiplayer game where you were two different tribes of trolls, and you basically started out with nothing and had to build a civilization, and then it became almost like a real-time strategy game. So you started off by hunting and gathering materials and doing all the things that you know, almost like what Spore was going to be. You know, you started off the very survivalist level, and then got a little bit more advanced and a little bit more advanced.
Right.
So I feel like we could learn a lot from that as well. You know, because some of the things they did, although it wasn't necessarily super innovative, innovative. There we go. It definitely showed what could be done with just as simple as going into the details of survival. You know. So
now I see in here Craterwatch in the chat. He says story is for the weak. What do you think about storyline? Is a storyline needed, wanted, or necessary for a game like this?
I think an overarching storyline could be very, very interesting, but not necessarily a storyline going on right now. For instance, Left 4 Dead, you're doing all of the things, you know, you're running through all these levels, but there's some very subtle storyline behind all that, you know, how the apocalypse started. But I don't necessarily feel that there needs to be a preset storyline during the gameplay. There could be subtle hints about what happened and how the apocalypse started, and you know, that could be very interesting. But I feel like what's key is allowing players to create their own story.
I think in Minecraft, you know, something really interesting has happened. What are the this? You guys are all gonna just laugh at me for this. What are the guys that do that Minecraft show? They're TGS guys. I'm a TGS guy. They're the #1 TGS channel.
I can't even remember now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like
I'm
you
sure
know, brain fart here. Yeah. So,
Yogscast.
Yogscast. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks,
so
Chat.
Yogscast really just they build all these stories and they do all of these different things with you know. With the whole tool set of Minecraft, and they don't, you know, if it were something like World of Warcraft, I mean, yes, there's been some storyline stuff that's come out of World of Warcraft, but World of Warcraft is very driven in its different lanes of development and everything.
It's very linear, even when it arcs around, it's still it's very not much that a player can really do to affect it.
Right, and so the with this, you know, with Minecraft, they're making it all kinds of things. And all kinds of things that the developers of Minecraft never, ever intended would happen. So, you know, even things I couldn't, you know, what was that? I saw them flying around with helicopters one day.
Yeah, they have a whole airship-themed storyline going on. It's very cool.
So... Okay, well, Panda Banana, who is Panda Banana on YouTube, you can go look him up. And thank you very much for your call.
Thank you very much.
Should I put another checkbox in zombies?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, okay, so zombies, another like.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
See you, Marcus.
Okay, so I think that boy, wouldn't it be fun to have a whole Minecraft world that's zombie apocalypse? I think that would be just a blast. Okay, so let's see here. Hello, Billy. You're on the air. Okay, so you need to turn off the audio on the live stream. Okay, so you need to make sure that in the background, whenever you call in, that that when I answer, turn off the live stream audio and don't turn on the radio or whatever it was that he just did. So because we won't be able to talk to you. So Sonic fan Calebix. Minecraft Zombie MMORPG would be epic. Yes, I agree. I think so. Okay, so let's try another one here. Hello, is it Keen?
Yeah,
Hello, Keen. You're on the air. Are you just video, or are you just audio, or do you have video?
audio.
Audio only. So, Keen, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been playing games since I was around 8, and I think I have a really good idea for you.
You do? Okay, so what is your vision for a video game?
I'm thinking dinosaurs and hookers.
Awesome. Okay. And did you like just hit puberty or something like that, and so that's why you need the hookers in there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your call, Keen. Okay, so, yeah, dinosaurs and hookers. I'm all over that. Golly. You know, and then like in War Z, you have the injections for, you know, for if you get infected by a zombie. Well, in this, you would have another kind of injection that would be to cure you from your venereal disease. Wow, what a survival game. Okay. So, let's see here. Hello, Kyle, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, you know, I'm hanging in there.
So, Kyle, what is your idea of a great game that we should make?
Well, with all the talk going around, and I think, honestly, the best game to pursue would be a zombie apocalypse type game, which has been very talked about. But the main reason why is just because there is no set-in-stone company or set-in-stone game right now in that industry because it's so young. Like, DayZ only came out 1 or 2 years ago. War Z just came out, and it's kind of tanking right now. And there's really no, how do I say? There's really no juggernaut in the field right now. You got League of Legends for MOBA, you got World of Warcraft for MMOs, and I think there's a lot of possibility for it. I think the key is to take the good from DayZ and the good from War Z and combine them together to make an awesome game. And I
To make Awesome Z.
Exactly. Right? War Z, that's all we need.
Dragon Z.
Yeah. Well, what I think War Z did horribly, they had a great idea, and I was looking at it for a while, and I was like, wow, these guys really did pretty good with it. But then their player support, their customer support, and the way they're pursuing the game is just not good at all. And now it's like going downhill fast. Like it is a falling meteor. And DayZ did a really good job of introducing everybody to this survival type of gameplay, and the fact that people are able to, you know, scrounge around and try to find weapons, try to find supplies, I think that's really enticing for people, just because that's what Minecraft was so enticing, is because you had to start, like you said, from the ground up, and then that's what made it really fun. And what I think a lot of people were talking about in chat, like having a zombie like that, except making it like an MMO, like having your own character. And I think to an extent you can do that, but I think it'd be very difficult to actually make that a popular game, just because having the status as it is right now, I think the only way you can even play it is having the way it is right now, which is like an MMO FPS kind of sort of deal. And I think the key to making it successful is actually, the first caller said that you don't want to make it a free-to-play, buy little items like War Z did it, but I actually think that is a great way to do it, but you got to do it smart. That's what League of Legends transformed the way to make a game, because they made it completely free-to-play, but now it's blowing every single game out of the water and is making huge amounts of profits just because people like it so much that they buy stuff for it. And I think you could easily do that with this, but you can't make it so that people can buy stuff and get an advantage, because I think that is a horrible idea. I think, but you can have people buy things, but make themselves like an appearance. Like they can buy like a helmet or buy clothing, or you can even make it so that if you kill so many players or something, like in the regular game, you can unlock like guns or something, and then you can purchase the guns faster. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities for that.
I know that I have, in many cases, done where I buy bats, and everything.
Yeah.
And I keep buying the bats because I don't have anything else to defend myself with. And so, yeah, it's now let me ask you a question. Are you married?
I'm not. No.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Not anymore. No.
Oh, this isn't gonna work.
I did. I mean, if I can help.
If you had a girlfriend, would she play video games?
Honestly, I wouldn't pressure her to play video games. If she did, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. And if she played video games, would she be interested in the same kind of video games that you're playing? Would she be interested in going in and doing zombie survival?
Honestly, I think that'd be a good game for her to play, because it's not that difficult, because all you're doing right in the beginning is scrounging around, and I think that's enticing for not the avid gamer. Just because it doesn't take a lot of skill to just run around and find stuff. I think it would really that's a good point, is being very enticing for that kind of player.
So what if the game had another component to it? Like, have you seen The Walking Dead?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so in The Walking Dead, they get into this prison area, and they have these large areas fenced in, and they talk about growing crops, growing food in there and everything. And this is kind of a different type of management. This is more of a Farmville type thing, where you're going to build up your crops, keep them watered, maintain them, produce as much as you can and everything. But do you think that something like that could go in well with a zombie apocalypse type thing, to where you could build your stronghold, and then also if you, instead of scavenging for food all the time, you could focus energy on growing your own food and everything?
Actually, I honestly think that could work, because what I've read a lot on Reddit, and what Warzy promised to players is that there would be like skill points and stuff, and they never did follow up on that. And I think farming and like forestry and even fishing, that could honestly be skill points you can eventually level up and kind of bring the MMO kind of feel back into like a zombie game, because in real life, people might be like in a zombie apocalypse. People might still be on their farm farming and thriving off that. So I think that'd be a great idea. Honestly.
Yeah, because I could totally see that that would attract a whole other set of people to the game that don't necessarily want the risk, don't necessarily want to be killing zombies, but want to contribute in the community aspect of the game.
Yeah,
and so I think that. That could really be a lot of fun. So are you in it for a zombie, MMO? You're in it?
100%, yes, sir.
Okay, another check mark for zombies. Okay, Kyle. Well, I appreciate your call. Thank you very much, and you have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
So, okay, lines are available. Go ahead and start calling in. I hear, the cat that I just let out, she's meowing to get back in. So I'm going to let her in because I can't stand to have her crying. Hold on. What? Okay, yep, you are back in. Now you're staying in. Okay. Live show drama. Cat wants out, cat wants in. Okay, so let's see here. Hello, Berg, is it? Hello? You're on the air. Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Hi. Is it just audio or do you have video?
Very odd. Can't hear a thing. Never mind.
Okay. Never mind. So, hello, is it Cluttershy?
It is. Hello.
Hello, Cluttershy. How are you this evening?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. So, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an avid gamer since I was about 6. Play every single puzzle game on the Nintendo 64, and just built my way up. And Nowadays, I try to maintain my origins by playing Sonic games and Super Mario and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So,
but sorry.
But what?
No, but I try to keep myself updated with like gaming nowadays. So I play games such as Resident Evil and you know, I even try Call of Duty and Halo and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So, if you were in charge of this project of making a game, what is your vision for a game that you would make?
Well, mostly a game that lets you build your own story, like you suggested. Because honestly, nowadays games are so linear. It's come to the point where I was playing Battlefield 3. And I couldn't advance until I did something, like I had to take out a sniper, and it's silly, because you need to be cute cap. You need to be able.
Here is Iolo. Say hello to everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, you need to be able to create your own story, because what makes you think about a game right after you stop playing it? You think, man, I had such a good time when I did this and that. And if a story is built in, then you feel like you've watched a movie. You don't feel like you played a game. And for example, in my days of playing World of Warcraft, and nowadays I play Guild Wars 2. But in my days, I remember just roaming around and doing some quests. And I remember just running into people and just saying, hi, how are you doing? And just helping them on their quests, and running around and just flying to random locations and doing random stuff. And then I just stopped playing, and I went watch TV, and I couldn't stop thinking, wow, that just happened. I didn't plan it. It wasn't built into the game. It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think Warzy and DayZ really miss, because I've been playing Warzy for a few days now, and I've enjoyed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, some of my friends call me an idiot for liking the game, but I do. Especially after Total Biscuit totally ripped it off. But I've been playing the game, and I feel like all the glitches and all the stuff that you can't really do anything. And when I heard just now that you suggested like building your own barricades and stuff like that, that was a really good thought. For example, in the Walking Dead game right now that's out, there is a point where you get to like this motel area where there's a parking lot, and when you get there for the first time, there's all those zombies around, and the place is a mess, and you don't really know what's going on, and like one chapter afterwards, you build all barricades, and you have the place surrounded, and you have a sniper on the lookout, and you feel like you made progress. Whereas you don't feel like you make progress, you just got like a few more bag of chips and guns. And that's it. You didn't do much else, basically. You killed someone. For what? You could have just talked to them. You could have tried to befriend them. I remember I once had nothing on me. Nothing in Warzy. Nothing at all. And some guy killed me. Mm-hmm. And he didn't even run up. He didn't even run up to take my stuff. He just killed me and went on.
Mm-hmm.
For the hell of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like what we'll be doing tomorrow. So, yes, our clan is going to go out and try and kill 100 players tomorrow. So, and we'll be live streaming it here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, and so your vision of a game in 3 sentences. What is describe your game in 3 sentences.
3 sentences.
Or less. It could be 0 sentences.
Well, it's mostly building your own story from scratch. That is my idea of a game. Being able to think that you actually did something. That you weren't playing, you weren't a puppet in this mass theater of nothingness. You were just, you did something, you changed something.
Okay. So
You know what got me hyped up about Guild Wars 2? It's when they said you have dynamic events that change the world. Have you played Guild Wars 2?
Oh yes, yes. So, and I've done some of those events, which change the surroundings around you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And think about that in an MMO where you have other people coming, join you, and help you. That is just what got me so hyped up. You get to change things in a huge world with other people. It's not like Skyrim, which you don't really make changes because the game basically has it built in that you change it. So, yeah, that's what Warzy misses a lot.
Okay. Well, Cluttershy, thank you very much for calling in and letting us know what you envision for your type of game. And I appreciate your call.
Thank you very much.
Yep, have a good evening.
Laters.
Okay, so I think that that there are so many good ideas out here about what could be done, and we have this love of like Warzy and Daisy, and I think that we really can do this. I think we can do this. So, hello, Machinist. You're on the air. Hello. We can't hear you. Sorry, but we can't hear you. So all I heard him say was, what? Just barely able to hear him. So, yeah, you know, test, if you're not sure whether or not your stuff works for Skype, whether or not you can be heard and stuff, do the echo callback test. And because then you'll be able to hear yourself back, and so, okay. Let's see here.
Here we go.
Hello, Sojourd. Am I pronouncing that right?
Not really.
How do you pronounce that?
Shuard.
Shuard. Okay, and I must ask, are you the guy that keeps killing me in Warzy?
Yep.
Oh, you are. Do you have video so I can put a face with the name?
All right, sure.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and why I asked you that question.
Well, my name is kind of complicated, so I guess that's why you remembered it. I kind of hear myself in echoes. I'm not sure why.
Well, you sound fine on this end.
Yeah, I muted Twitch. That's what.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, about myself, I live in Holland, in the Netherlands.
Okay.
It's 3 a.m. at the moment. But I actually own my own MMO already.
Oh.
It's called Prison Tale. Have you ever heard of it? No, it's a private server though. It's not official.
I see.
Anyways, I've been playing Warzy for like 2 months now. I've been following you for a while because my friends got you hooked on your videos.
Following is the key word. You know, yeah. Bullet in the back.
Yeah, but no, we just wanted to have some fun, and you have no idea how hard it is to find you.
I think that we talked about you offline. About how is it that he figures out what server we're on, and you know, came to the conclusion that you're just very persistent, and that it must take a lot of server hopping to find us.
Yes, it does.
And so yes, a waste of time. And so tomorrow I think you're going to have a little bit harder of a time doing it. We have some tactics to you know, deal with griefers like you.
Well, I can make you a deal though. I can join you guys.
Oh, you could. You could join the clan, and we could have a grand old time.
That would make it easier. No, I won't stab you in the back. I'm not like that. But no, the only reason I was trying to find you guys is you have so many viewers, and it's just fun to be able to find you. And well, that was kind of my fun and my friend. I don't know if you remember him.
Yes.
Like, I think it was Fuck Norris or something. No, Fuck Chuck. Holy Fuck Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a friend of mine. And we were like, one of us is going to the US 1 to 10, and he's going to 11 to 20, etc. And then trying to find you, but sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just for fun.
Well, we're going to screw you up tomorrow by playing on the Australian servers.
Australian servers? Nice.
Yeah. So...
No, but actually, back to the subject about the zombie games.
Yes.
I do think that War Z has a good principle of the game, but it's missing one big thing, and that's a goal. Right now, the only thing you can do is either loot items in the buildings and kill people, and kill zombies. You gain EXP, but it does nothing. So the biggest thing that I'm missing in the game is a goal. The only thing I'm doing right now is killing people, or get killed.
Right.
So what I would do is a game based on War Z, but with achievements, quests, things to do, leveling up, and making leveling up harder. Like, have you ever played Diablo 3?
Yes.
The game ends at level 80. After that, there's nothing. So I've played the game. After a week or two, I was level 80, and then the whole fun is gone. I mean, the only thing you can do is upgrade your items, which cost a lot of money. I mean, you can pay to get some extra, what's it called, coins or gold or anything. But I don't want to invest thousands of dollars just to get good gear. I mean, eventually the game is just over. And I hope that if you do make a game, it would have a goal like that. Like, you can level up to level whatever. You have achievements, quests, the skill tree. That's actually, there's a button in War Z, but it doesn't do anything.
Right.
It would be fun if you can defer yourself from other players. Like, there are games that you have to make a choice. Like, you choose A, B, or C. Whatever you make, you can't reverse the choice. So eventually, if you have picked 20 times A, probably no one else have made the same decision as you have. So your character is built differently than others. So I would make something like that in the game as well. But as far as the development goes and the maps, yeah, you can go either way.
Did you ever play Ultima Online?
No, I did not.
So in Ultima Online, they had this free-form skill system. And basically, no character had any levels. Your characters looked different because you dressed them different, or you chose a little bit different body type or whatnot. But like War Z has, 6 or 7 body types, something like that, and it's really not very much to choose from. Well, Ultima Online didn't have very much to choose from either, but you really decked yourself out by either buying clothes from other players, or making your own clothes, or wearing a suit of armor, or what you accompanied yourself with. And the skills in there were, you had so many skill points. And so if I wanted to work on a skill of, sword fighting, sword play, then I would start out, because if I pick up a sword and I went out to the forest and I found a bunny rabbit or something like that and tried to use my sword on them, I would have a very hard time hitting them and gaining any skill. But if I went to something like a deer, well, the deer would kick my ass, because I was so improficient with the sword. So you'd go practice on a dummy and get your skill up just a little way, but the more you used that sword, the more proficient you became with swords.
Yeah, you have to mature the sword.
And so you could get all the way up to 100 skill points, and then you would be a Grandmaster Swordsman.
Okay.
But you'd have like 700 skill points. So not only could you be a Grandmaster Swordsman, you could put in skill points into dexterity, into strength, and stuff like that, so that you could pimp yourself out like Arnold Schwarzenegger, or or you could be just somebody who's really quick, like Link from Zelda.
Yeah.
You know, Link is very feminine profile and just very quick and nimble. And
well, that's the same. That's the same thing as we use in the game I have. You have step points. Every level you gain a certain amount of step points. You have to put them in agility or dexterity or strength or HP or whatever. If you put that in a game, eventually if you gain like 1,000 step points, you're a unique character. There's no way someone else have the exact same build. So you can become either very fast, very light, very a lot of HP or a lot of strength, depending on your build. So that would be pretty cool.
So something like that would be. See, in Ultima, people made up all kinds of different things. They're just given the building blocks for playing, but everyone made their own storylines. There was some questing in there, but nothing like it is in World of Warcraft or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is your private server you said you were running? I don't want to know how to get to it, but is it Priston Tale?
Yeah, Priston Tale.
Okay.
The Priston Tale is the official name of the server, or of the game, like Warzy would be. And I have a private server of that game, so obviously it has my own name and then Priston Tale.
Right. And obviously it's not legit.
Well, not 100%, no.
Yeah.
But
okay.
It's the same like you would have a private server of WoW. Or I think there's actually a private server of Warzy already. I think someone leaked the files or something. I'm not sure if it exists, but I've heard something about it.
So, since you have some server administration experience, what kind of things are we likely to run into if we're going to run a server-based game? And you know, what kind of issues are players going to run into that we are going to need to address?
The biggest issue I have with my game is hackers. And that's the same thing that Warzy has right now.
Yeah.
People who play the game with bad intention. When Warzy came out, they said the game is unhackable. If you say something like that, every hacker who reads it will try to hack it.
That's right.
So it will only make it worse. And even if you update your anti-cheat, 1 or 2 hours later, whoever made the hack has updated the hack so it works again. That's your biggest concern. Trying to make a good anti-hack, or at least, if people are hacking, make it something that's not very useful. Like in my game, the biggest thing we have is macro. People who are pressing one key, go AFK, and when they come back, they've gained a level. And it's very hard for us to catch them, because the only thing we can catch them is go to the player, type in the chat, say hello. If they don't respond within 5 minutes, we will DC them and ban them. But if someone is using the macro and has 2 screens on, the second screen is a video. He can watch the video and do nothing in the game. As soon as he sees me pop up and seeing in the chat, then he can respond and everything's okay. But he's still using the macro.
Right.
So it's, for us, there's almost no way in telling if he is playing legitly or not. And the same with Warzy. Like right now, you have aimbotters, you have people with wall hacks, ESP, you name it, and they have it. So it's very hard to take action against the hackers.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for your call.
Yeah, I thank you as well for having me.
Yeah.
I'll send you a message on Skype for joining you tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll get you to 100 kills tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you, and thanks for calling.
Have a nice day. See ya.
Okay. So that's pretty funny. I thought I recognized his name as a guy who had been killing us several times in Warzy and kept finding us. So very persistent. So tomorrow I think we are going to play on the Australian servers, and it'll be Australian server number 261. So if you're listening, that's where we're going to be. Okay. So let's see here. Hello, is it Sanjeev? Hello, Sanjeev? Hello? You have auto answer on? He's calling and he walked away. Man, that's a bummer, because you just got connected and now you're not here. Gonna have to go on to the next guy. So, it is advisable to be there whenever you call. You know. Okay. So. Hello, Star Shooter. You're on the air.
Hello again, Marcus.
How are you?
I am well.
Do you have video or are you just audio only?
I still have not found my webcam.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'll find
So,
it next time.
Star Shooter. Now I know you've called into the show before, but for those who have not heard you before, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am an IT administrator, currently working on my own game. And like you, I have many years based out of Ultima Online. In fact, I'm watching you on one screen and an event on the other as we speak.
So what is your idea of a game that, if you could make any game, you know, with no restrictions, what would you be making?
I am making, or at least trying to make a game that is dedicated strictly to community, but being completely open realm. You know, a lot of guys I know in chat had mentioned, you know, you break a window and it doesn't get fixed. There's a lot of programming that goes into that, and it's not that that's difficult, but the scale that people want. You know, you have to make it so that each wall segment is breakable, each window. But what I'm looking more for is, you know, if you go out and you break a sword, now you have to go, you know, I guess in Ultima Online the parallel to what I want is, you know, you go to Minnock, the old mining town. You have to go get some ore. Then you have to go to Britain and find a blacksmith, and he's got to make a sword for you. And it goes on, and it establishes this sense of community where every time you log in, you have to interact with other people. Not that there's quests being thrown in your face all the time, but you make your own events for the day.
And with this game, you know, I think I asked you last time how you would monetize your game. And that's the next question that comes up with me when you talk about your game again.
Actually, I don't think you did ask me last time. You know, I'm still debating on that. I really don't like the pay-to-win model or pay for additional items. I do like the idea of a subscription, but a lot of people don't like having monthly subscriptions.
How would you deal with that? You know, there's a lot of people that say that a monthly subscription will remove pay to win, and but if you have to where you can buy items and stuff in the game, you then make a free to play game, which allows a lot more people to get involved in the game. And so, which way do you go on that?
You know, that's actually something I've put a lot of thought into, and I think at this point I'm going to go one of two ways. Either I'm going to make the game available for free with the stipulation that there is a subscription to it, or make the game, say, $30. It's moderately reasonable, but then you get 3 months on that of free gameplay. That way they can kind of get in and get their feet wet, and if they like it, then they can choose whether or not they want to continue on with a subscription-based model.
Right, right. Okay. So, since you've been working on making a game, what kind of advice, or what would you say is very important to look at if we embark on making a game? What's some items that we can't ignore?
The back end. The whole, I mean, again, I'm an IT guy, but the whole movement the last 5 or 6 years in everything IT has been make something that you can use as a cookie cutter to pound out new software, and that includes games. You know, if you go back 10 years ago, there weren't game engines that were readily available. Now you can go online and you can find stuff like Ogre 3D or Unity, or there's a whole plethora of them out there now. That's the easy part. Making the games is pretty easy. You know, there's a little bit of programming in it, but when I say programming, it's not really programming. It's very basic, you know, values that you have to set for your characters. The more difficult part, if you want an MMO like you're talking about, would be the back end of it. You know, how are we going to get the bandwidth to support, you know, 10,000 people if they take up, you know, 25 KBS each?
What about using something like Amazon scaling services, their cloud computing? Would that not work for games?
You can get individual nodes, but it gets a lot more advanced than that. And as far as I know, I haven't checked in about a year, but Amazon didn't let you control where your servers were. So if your game is going to be latency sensitive, you can't say, here's 3 servers for the West Coast, here's 3 in the East Coast, and here's 3 over in Europe. Amazon just kind of moves it around wherever their data center has available processing power. And that's what a lot of cloud computing does, and that's actually something that Ultima Online did about a year ago and kind of screwed up everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that latency sensitive, you can't move the server from California to the UK, which is what they did.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, thank you for giving us a call, telling us what kind of game you'd be doing, and then also sharing some of your experience with making a game. So if we get to the point of we're actually going to build this game and we're going to talk about infrastructure, I want you calling in.
All right.
So, okay, thank you for your call.
All right, thanks, Marcus. Bye.
Okay, so I see chat is asking me to ask Russian Caliber to call in. And so, Mr. Russian Caliber, it's MarkeeDragon on Skype. And if I see you calling in, I'll answer. Okay, we're going to try the Machinist again. Hello, Mr. Machinist. Yes, you fixed your mic.
Yes, there was something wrong with it.
Okay, so
I was just ringing in about I know you're a big Ultima Online fan, and you can see Daisy and DayZ kicking off, and I think that's because of Sandbox, dude. And I'm a big fan of Dartfall, and I mean, what do you think about that game? Is that something you want to do if you make a game make it more Sandbox?
Say again. What did that have to do with Darkfall?
No, because Dartfall, it's like a Sandbox game. I mean, you've seen it, haven't you? You must have seen it.
Actually, I have never played Darkfall, and the reason is I tried multiple times to buy it, and every time I tried to buy it, I could not figure out how to buy it on their website, and I left in frustration. And you know what? Here's what's really idiotic about it, is that they come out with this new Darkfall, which is in beta right now, and I went to their website a couple of weeks ago because they said they're like, pre-order it now, and I couldn't frickin' figure out how to buy it. And it's just, to me, it's the dumbest thing in the world. Why are you advertising to me? I click on a banner to buy the damn game, and when I get there, I can't figure out how to buy it. Think of how much money they're losing. And so I contacted their PR people, and I just asked them if they would send me a copy, and they said, okay.
Oh, nice.
So on the 27th, I believe, I will be in the game, and I will live stream some of that, and we'll make some videos. So, but it's my understanding that that is when the NDA is released on the beta.
Yeah, that's very nice.
So I'll have it on the 27th.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, MMOs at the moment, I just think they're too Care Bear, I think they need to stop holding people's hand, and that's a good thing about Dartfall. I mean, Adventure might not be the best company when it comes to making games or whatever, but the game itself they've made is so good. I mean, it is worth trying, dude, definitely.
Yeah, okay, well, I will be trying it, and so, now, if you're the one running the project, what is your vision for the game? Obviously, you're a fan of Sandbox. But what? Tell me just a little bit more about your game.
What, Dartfall, or the game that my dream game?
So Darkfall is your dream game?
Sort of, yeah, because the political side, and it's all player controlled. I like player controlled stuff, I've tried EVE Online, but I couldn't get into that game. And I was an FPS player. I mean, I played World of Warcraft for 5 or 6 years. I was a gladiator in that game. I used to raid endgame and stuff like that. But Dartfall, I just love it because it's player controlled. All the content is done by the player, and you aren't just if you play a game like WoW, for example. I mean, I don't really want to go to WoW because I hate it now. But if you go to WoW, you're just waiting for the next content to come out, and with Darkfall, it's constantly happening. I think the problem with the MMO genre is just like people, I don't know, they just play the same thing. They just want quests. They just want levels. Stuff needs to change, and you've seen this with like DayZ and War Z. I mean, the more sandboxy like shooters, aren't they? And I think that's where the next big thing's going to come. I think it's going to be Sandbox. I think Sandbox.
So, what is your opinion now? Have you played Minecraft at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so Minecraft is kind of the ultimate sandbox game that's out right now, and what could you imagine though? Something where the landmass is as malleable as that, to where it's you can dig deep holes, you can build big towers. In fact, I even saw somebody dig out the entire map and build the Starship Enterprise in there.
Yeah.
And so, what can you imagine that kind of functionality in an MMO? Something that's persistent world?
The thing is, though, again, people could exploit that, couldn't they? It's like you could build like a city for players to take or something, and they could build about 50 gates that you needed to go through or something. I mean,
or they could build a giant penis, and then that would be what everybody sees whenever they walk in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit fine line. Give players too much control. I mean, yeah, you need limitations somewhere.
Okay. So, well, Mr. Machinist, thank you very much for your call. Zombies or no zombies?
I like zombies. Walking Dead is amazing.
Yeah, okay. Another check mark for zombies. Thank you.
Cheers.
Okay, so, yes, another check mark for zombies. Yeah, I love, now, where is it that they say Z instead of Z? So he was calling it War Z. So, not quite sure. He's United Kingdom, so, anyway. Okay, so, now, hello, you're on the air.
Здравствуйте. My name is Ruskaya Caliber.
Ah, yes. How are you?
I'm good.
So,
I was just calling in.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name, I don't really want to say on the chat.
Okay.
Because it's just confidential or some shit. So I was calling in and I was saying,
I think your mic cut out.
Sorry, fuck. My fucking brother. He's retarded. He's in the chat and he's fucking laughing at me. He's fucking fag.
Okay, well, can't have that kind of cussing if we want to continue talking. So.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, so, well, we got to take all kinds. When the devil called the other day, and he's like, "I'm going to drag you to hell," I hung up on him too. So, okay, well, that's too bad. I was hoping that he had actually, something good to say. So, okay, let's see here. Let's see here. So, hello, Gifted. You're on the air.
Evening, Markee.
How are you? Do you have video, or are you just audio only?
Audio only.
Okay. So, Gifted, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 17. I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember, everywhere from the NES, Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast, and a N64, PlayStation. I'm a fan of them all. I actually own each system as well.
Okay. And so if you were going to make a game, or you were in charge of this game and resources were not an issue, what game would you make?
Preferably for me, I would like a game that is based around the players, around the community itself. I've seen some games that have tried to implement something like this, but I've seen them at kind of like booths for E3 and stuff like that, and I've never ever heard of anything of them since. These games involve the political system, per se, where it would be based around the players making their own content, as someone who you had previously called had mentioned. It could involve something like, say, in the medieval times, one of the players could be, if they are popular enough amongst the player base and have done enough for the, say, society within the game, they could be promoted into becoming the king of a kingdom. Or another, and say a player did not agree with this, they could challenge this king, per se, and challenge them for their place, kind of like how the old medieval ways used to work.
Right.
Or you can have it in a World of Warcraft style way where there's still all that MMO stuff, like aspects to the game, but you still have that political system thrown onto it. But there are the limitations that, as I said, one of the other people you had contacted had said. Limitations such as they can not charge over, say if a game had a tax system to it, like players had houses and there was a tax system to it, they cannot charge over a certain amount for said taxes if they had that kind of implementation in the game.
So could something like this this is kind of like a political power system you're talking about.
And then there's that, and like I also said, it could be attached to something like the kind of World of Warcraft style of MMO as well.
And so I know that there's games out there that do a lot of this. You know, EVE Online has quite a robust system for politics and for hierarchy and for power. Then there is, I did an interview once about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago with this lady, and I forget what the name of the game was, but it was totally a politics game, and it was text-based. I was really surprised, because they had something like 250,000 people playing daily, and it was a text-based game. And, you know, could you imagine this being like some sort of survivalist game, but also having politics? Or do politics come into play after a civilization is more settled?
The politics would come in after civilization is more settled. Like, say, in War Z, you could get a group of people together in a particular zone or a town, and that group could govern itself. It could establish its own leader through votes, a majority vote,
or
rule.
for power, or through fear.
Or I believe Terra. I think someone in the chat said it. Terra. I'm not exactly sure that it was that game, where they could vote specific leaders for a zone in the game. Or I'm not sure if you know the game Perfect World. Certain guilds, there was certain times of the week or month where certain guilds could go in and take over a zone, and they would own that zone for a particular amount of time. But in Perfect World, there was like no politics to that.
Right.
They could implement something like that, which I think. Do you watch the show The Walking Dead?
Oh yes.
Then you know the current area where it's at, where they have that town where everyone is at. So you could have something like that in War Z.
Is it Mayberry or Woodbury?
Yes, Woodbury, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they have the governor.
Yeah, who kind of rules over the and governs the place and looks after the civilians.
Right, right. And he's a pretty evil dude, and I think that he governs with fear.
Yeah.
So he's not like an elected governor, or he may have been that way, but he's kind of a dictator. So his own little Cuba.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, so if we were to actually work at building a game, would you want to be involved?
Yes, actually.
And if you wanted to be involved, what is it that you would see would be something that you would be doing for the game?
Making sure that the game stays towards what the majority of the players want, as well as attending to the minority at the same time, trying to balance both out. Take World of Warcraft, for example, which I have actually stopped playing right now due to what they have been doing with Miss Pandaria, though I'm in conflict with that, but then hate. Where Blizzard is currently trying to take in the casual players with the introduction of LFR, with the looking for raid, as well as the hardcore players, as they're trying to compensate for both by having the hard heroic modes staying where they are at, and then having the LFR for those casual players. But it would make sure the game stays balanced between both the casual sensational players and the people who want to play hardcore.
So let me ask you a question. If you're trying to address both casual, hardcore, both the majority and the minority, how do you keep the game from being diluted?
I've always had this idea where, for Blizzard, I don't think they could implement it as of now, where they could have two sets of, say, servers. They could have one server for the casual players. The servers are tuned for people who are very casual, what they want, stuff like that. While you also have the servers that is specifically for the hardcore players. Everything is tuned up for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that would be one way to deal with it. That brings up other technical issues and money issues. You end up with two development veins and everything, which then doubles the cost of certain areas.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
why
like
I said
that.
it would be for that's why I said for Blizzard it would be a money issue.
Yeah,
I don't think it would be so much as a technical issue as you're focusing on only releasing different patches for the servers.
Yeah.
It would still be like the same game, just say lower rates if it's a raid, lower amounts of damage, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Gifted, thank you very much for calling in, telling us your vision of a game, and so I look forward to hearing more from you if we progress with actually doing this game.
Yes.
So,
and before you ask. Hell yes, zombies.
Oh yes! I almost forgot to ask. Okay. Woohoo! More zombies. Okay, take care.
You too.
Okay. So.
Oh yes!
Hello, Nathan. You're on the air.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Woo-wee! Okay. So. This is an R-rated show in case you didn't know it. So, okay. So, yeah, okay. Hello, Roman, you're on the air.
Oh, hello, Marcus. Finally, good to see you. It's an honor to be with you, sir. I'm sorry I don't have a camera right now, so it's only going to have to be voice tonight, okay?
Okay, so Roman, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Roman. Everybody knows me as Russian Caliber on the forums, in the community, and in the game.
And so this other guy wasn't really you.
No, but he sounded pretty damn good. I mean, he really sounded close. For a second, I thought it was Borat, but then I was like, no way. It was really nice, though, the way he sounded.
Yeah.
So, I'm an art director for the War Z, and my responsibilities include making sure the terrain, the trees, the models, the characters, the animations, and all the lighting and all the guns get in the game in a specific time and the specific budget. And so this is pretty much what I do. I do not control the marketing or the decisions in the business. I have to tell you this right now. So any questions towards this should not be directed exactly at me.
Right. Okay. So, well, let's. Yeah. I wasn't really expecting anyone from War Z to call in, but I think that it's really cool that we caught your attention and you're here.
Thank you.
And so, what is something that is on your mind that is part of the public perception, but the public's getting it wrong?
I think the biggest problem for us right now is the PR and the communication of how things are being promised and how things are getting delivered through official announcements, and then how the media and our own community looks at it. And then something is not properly gets communicated and gets out there, and then we now have to catch and explain why we said this or what we meant by that. So I think our biggest thing about this is how we communicate ourselves and what we say that we have and what we do deliver, and we have to make sure that we actually promise and deliver what we have. So right now, the biggest problem right now for us is the way the communication between departments getting out there. But it's actually getting fixed, and it's been brought up already many times, and this is our intention, is to actually fix that pipeline between departments, making sure everything gets properly tested and communicated.
Yeah, well, that's good. And, you know, I think that that my byline lately has been that War Z has greatness, but its administration has dumbness.
That's exactly what I've been hearing a lot. This is what we actually see. That's what people say. And, you know, that's the thing. I mean, the game, like everybody says, has a lot of potential. The entire development team believes in the game more than ever. This is our child, and we're going to be continuing on growing this as developers, no matter what.
And so what what is some of the... So let's talk a little bit more about what your part is in the development of the game. And now you said your art, textures, and everything?
I am in charge of all the art that you see in the game. And yes, there's been a lot of complaints about some issues with textures, resolution, and stuff like this. So basically, my responsibilities include everything to do with art in the game, not necessarily on the website or in the press release stuff.
And so what, now, do you feel, being an artist for the game, do you feel that that art makes the game, or is you know, the highest quality art required for the game to be good?
That's a good question, Marcus. My personal opinion about this is actually I think the gameplay makes the game. It's how addictive it is. I mean, look at Minecraft.
Right.
There's not much graphics to this, but you just lose time to a point where your wife, your parents, or your girlfriend's like, what happened to you the week? You just sit there at your computer playing. You know? Yeah, it's not the day; it's the week.
Yeah.
So, I personally believe the art is a great medium to kind of put you in the atmosphere of the game, and this is what we're trying to do, and this is what we're going to continue on creating the atmosphere. But that's just the secondary part. I think the gameplay and the addiction part, and when you're having social great time with your friends, that's what matters to me personally the most. I think art is the secondary. And I actually want to say also sound is a huge part of it as well.
Oh, sound is actually more important than visuals, in my opinion. Because the sound sets the ambience, it sets the tone, it sets
Absolutely, yeah. It's the atmosphere.
You know, when I'm playing, I keep hearing things that sound like footsteps, but they're not really footsteps, and so I'm like looking around, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's following me? It's nobody. Oh, I'm just being creeped out. You know.
Well, that's another thing. Sometimes, you know, you create the ambient sound in the game, and that can mistaken and mislead the player. He thinks something is about to happen, and this is something that we're trying to polish with our game as well. We want to create the ambient sound that's not too alerting, because a lot of people think that something is about to happen, right? Some event is about to take place. But you're right, absolutely. The sound is the greatest part of the game as well.
So, have you watched my live stream play at all?
Absolutely. I'm a fan personally. This is awesome to watch you when you play, and keep doing what you're doing. Exactly.
Keep complaining so you guys will know what's on my mind.
Keep complaining, keep bringing this up, because I just want to make sure the community understands that, you know, what business is business. We are here as developers to listen, and we are going to do everything to fix this for you guys.
Yeah. So how do you, what's your take on the issue of when I'm at the highest resolution graphics, the game looks really darn good, but I recently switched to the lowest, not resolution, quality. I recently switched to the lowest quality level because I'm able to see and kill players better.
Because of the grass, right? And
yes.
then all the features turn off, and then you can get a nice clean
shot.
Relax, exactly. You know, it's been done since the Counter-Strike days, when I used to turn everything. It's for competitive. Most of the competitive professional players, they play only on low, so they can get a very good frame rate, clean environment, and get the kills like this. It's a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing we tried lately is to make sure that the balance of the ecosystem, including grass, the trees, is still kind of the same on the low quality, so the people can take advantage of this. And this is something that we're continuing and improving. And it's kind of hard, you know, to find that balance. And how much do you turn off for the low settings without sacrificing too much of a graphical quality? And it's going to be an ongoing process for us for a while.
Okay, so I got the chat room asking me a question here.
Absolutely.
And they say, this is from Clone Abuse, why the basic character models and animations are all ported models from War Inc.?
Well, actually, the official ones that we had on the alpha, we did take them from War Inc. and we just tweaked them a little bit temporary while the production department was cranking out and working on the actual characters, because we had a lot of pre-production time to discuss on what kind of characters we want to bring into this game, and we didn't want to just, you know, make them really fast and be like, hey, here you go, guys. This is also something that's going to be an ongoing process. But as for the animations, I don't think that's correct, because the animations for the characters are just been recently created, and we just finally got a really good animator, because before, the artist, who was a very good technical artist and multitasked, and he's really talented, he was doing both environments and animations at the same time, which is really hard to do. So we actually had to find an animator. And to find a really good animator in this industry, guys, this is really hard, because they either want a giant salary or they're just not available at the time. And most of the animators are really picky at what they want to do. So for animation has always been the hardest thing to properly tackle and create perfect, you know.
That's interesting. So now I know that you guys use the, or I shouldn't say I know. What I believe that I've been told, which sounds likely, is that War Z is using a War Inc. engine.
Well, the engine is called Eclipse. For the War Inc., we used the earlier version of the Eclipse. And then we took that engine and we decided to add a lot more features, and which we're actually still adding right now.
Right.
And we tweaked the engine a lot so we can fit a lot of stuff in the open world, you know. We decided to start with a medium-sized map first. We tested even bigger map, and we decided that for right now it'd be a lot more comfortable if we fit a lot of stuff into a medium-sized map. Because to make an open world game and have high resolution textures, models, trees, grass, lighting, all the effects, and when you throw 50 to 60 players in one map, you're gonna have some issues with frame rate. I mean, we can make a tunnel game similar to like Call of Duty or let's say Fear, where you follow the roller coaster, and you don't have an open world. We can create all kinds of high resolution textures and geometry. But for an open world, it's a very big challenge to make the art consistent. And this is something that we're going to continue on improving. So to answer your question it's not exactly the same engine. It's more of updated and more pimped out engine.
Did you work on War Inc.?
Yes, I did.
And so how did the idea for War Z come about?
Well, since we started on War Inc., we wanted to create an experience for players where Battlefield, we were always fans of Battlefield games because they had a lot more open world, and we're fans of shooters, and at the same time, a lot of the team members are fans of zombies. And a few of us actually played this mod called Sahrani Life for the first original Arma. I'm not sure if you've heard of this, but it was an amazing mod. It was not really big, but it was really fun. You can be either civilian or cop. You can grow drugs, you can do all kinds of stuff. It was a big open sandbox. And then, like around 2010, we started bouncing an idea of what if we populate a little map with zombies and then we get to fight players and zombies at the same time. And this went on and on, but we were busy with the War Inc. at the time, so the idea was born. And then we kind of didn't take it too far with this. We kind of paused it for a little bit to continue on polishing War Inc. And then, of course, the DayZ exploded, and we were like, "Whoa, there you go. You know, this was also part of our idea. Let's revive this. Let's continue on working this."
So, do you guys play the game?
Oh, I'm in the game every day, and a lot of developers are in the game after hours. Most people go have, good times with their families. I go and play the game with guys. I mean, probably some people can vouch for me in the chat. I actually spend a lot of time with streamers and in the game with people.
So, now, is there any company policy that that says that says that everyone who's working on the game should be playing the game?
There is no policy, but it's kind of like a common sense. If you're making a game, you should be there playing with people and listening to people and testing the same stuff with people, Because you can test this by yourself with the team at work during work hours with 4 or 5 guys. It's not the same as those people who play the game as players. You get to witness a lot more crazier stuff. Like, some people are really, really good at what they do out there with shooting. And sometimes I go and play and I get shot and I'm like, this has to be a hacker. But no, this is just a really damn good sniper.
We've watched people several times, and I'm so disappointed to see that the timer now disconnects you 60 seconds after you're dead. because we so many times I'm like, I know this guy's a hacker, and last weekend I went and just charged into this building where this guy was, and he shot me dead right on the floor where he was, and I just sat there watching him, and I wanted to see whether or not he was a hacker. And I'm not 100% sure he was, but he was either damn incredible or he was shooting us through the walls.
You'll be surprised, Marcus, how many people out there are actually really damn good. This is insane. And your first gut feeling is to call him a hacker. Because you feel ashamed of yourself. You're trying to protect internal soul, saying that, my God, I just got owned. He's got to be a hacker. No way, he's just better than me. But no, there's just people that better than us sometimes.
Yeah, it really sucks.
But yes, there are issues of hackers. I cannot not stress this right now. And we are working on it hard. The technical parts of that I can't really explain to you because I'm an artist. The programmers will probably be able to answer much better than I do. But this is something that is definitely being worked, and it's a very sensitive issue to us.
Right.
We will not put that aside at all.
It's a very sensitive issue to the players.
Absolutely,
And,
I 100% agree.
I can tell you that it when you put your heart and soul into a game, and you're just really enjoying it and everything, and then bad things keep happening to you over and over again, the fun is removed from the game. And once the fun is gone, then you quit playing the game.
Absolutely.
And I know that when unexplained things that are unexplained happen to us, you know, I myself, I'm always an optimist. I'm like, well, that guy is just damn good. But
Good, yeah.
I know that. I mean, I did watch. I was watching another live streamer the other night, and he had a guy that started shooting from inside the post office, and we watched him walk right through the wall, continuing to shoot, and killed the guy on the other side of the wall.
Now that's a clear violation. That's a hack right there.
Yeah, and I knew that when I saw it. But I can tell you that, you know, there's something in the video game industry. I don't know how long you've been in the video game industry, and how long you've been on, whether or not you've had much dealing with the business side of it.
14 years.
14 years, okay. So, have you ever heard of customer irritation level?
Oh, yes. Exactly.
So, this is something that I first heard with EA, with Ultima Online. And they were like, you know, our customer irritation level is only 19%. And I thought to myself, holy shit, 19% of the people are irritated with you. And so...
That doesn't sound like a big number, but it is a big number.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
People don't understand how big number that is in reality.
And so, golly. So I imagine, you know, I hesitate asking you about other departments within you know, the War DZ development, but, you know, for yourself, I'm sure you're paying attention to what is irritating players having to do with the artwork.
Absolutely, and that's just like you said. I'm sure our number of irritated players is a lot bigger, and I'm not going to probably deny this because I see this, I follow this, I read a lot of the community's outrages and all the reviews. The first thing, like you said, comes to my mind is to defend my department first, and this is, of course, what I'm going to do, naturally, because I am responsible for art. These are the guys that are making the art with me. This is something that I'm going to put my balls on the plate, right? But, of course, the other departments are also part of my soul, and this is my care. I mean, I care about the designers, I care about the programmers, and those guys are also doing an amazing job. So, yeah, I actually, well, of course, first and most, I'm going to think about my own department, but I also put as much love to other departments, and we talk about this a lot, and now this was a great refreshment for us all, and after holidays we're going to kick even more ass than what we're doing right now, so this is definitely going to be guaranteed.
Do you guys keep stats on your end of you know, what the how do you prioritize what you work on?
Well, we try to get a lot of team meetings once a week. We get together with the key people, the leads, and then we talk about stuff like this. And then we, you know, between the meetings, we always have emails, and a lot of angry emails keep flying around. A lot of good emails keep flying around. And then once we identify the issue, like this needs to be talked about ASAP, let's schedule a meeting, let's get together. Another thing about, we have a completely different offices. The art is located in one area of the California, while the rest of the team is in LA. So we pretty much try to get at least twice a week together and see what's happening. Let's see what we can fix. Let's see what's our priorities, because there's a lot of stuff we're trying to squeeze in and fix and polish at the same time, you know. So it gets overwhelming at times, but I think, you know, with more people we're going to be adding to the team, the more tasks are going to be allocated, and so some people can take a breathing and step back and relax and do what they're really, really good at and what they're passionate about, versus throwing all kinds of tasks on some of these people that they're not exactly passionate about, you know?
Yeah. So what? So you know, do you know how many copies of Warzy have been sold? What kind of number range we're in?
I do not have that information, Marcus. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, just off of my things that I've read, I would say it's probably over 400,000 copies. And you know, I'm not 100% sure I'm right on that, but that's my best guesstimate. And would you say that Warzy is having good success?
Well, what would you define as a good success?
Okay, let's see. Is Warzy being profitable enough to increase the development budget to make it an even better game?
I think this is actually a big thing for us right now well, it's not good for all the media that's happening right now, but it's just crazy with all the noise, the amount of people that actually want to check it out, what the fuzz is all about. This is crazy for us.
Right.
And yes, the money that's being generated with sales is actually going to be put back into the development. Absolutely, that's the key. That's what the development team is proud about, and this is what we're definitely looking forward to, is hiring a lot more people and putting them on more tasks.
So I have one last thing I want to ask you about, and that is, what can us as the players do to help you work on these issues that are causing problems for us?
I think the most important thing that everybody can do is to be constructive with their feedback. When I go on the forums sometimes and I see a post that says your game sucks, so of course I'm going to click on it to see why this person says the game sucks. And then he says, you suck monkey genitals or something like this, and then it's not enough information for monkey genitals for us to think why is the game sucks. So the more constructive actual feedback we get, including pictures, screenshots, descriptive ways on delivering us the message why the game sucks. And, you know, like I said, also after holidays, we're going to be retasking a lot of community managing stuff. We're going to be looking at our rules, how the forums are getting handled, how the moderators do their job. So I think the best for players to do is keep sending the feedback. I mean, the hate is always going to be there. We can't, no, if, like I said, if you go outside, you look around and there's nothing offending you, you don't live in the free country. Right. So it's okay. Keep sending whatever you can to us guys and be very constructive about it. As much information and pictures and screenshots, videos, stuff like this.
Does it, you know, in my companies that I've owned, we've had company meetings, and whenever someone would bring up a problem, we always required them to have a possible solution. And because without that, it was just complaining. But with a possible solution, then it is being active to, you've thought about the issue, and you have a, you know, it shows that you have some understanding of the issue. Would you find it constructive if people who had a complaint also, you know, included what they thought might be a possible solution?
Well, this is actually one of the biggest thing I love about Sergey. Because every time I tell him, dude, we gotta fix this, this shit sucks. And then he actually is the one that says, well, this does not help me. You need to actually tell me the solution or don't talk about that at all. And I'm like, oh, yes, I actually should have brought the solution up. I'll get back to you on that. So yeah, Marcus, you bring up a really good point. So whenever people start complaining or, you know, giving us the feedback, solution would be ideal.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'll keep that in mind. And so I have certainly done a lot of complaining about the game. But I hope that shows you guys the level of passion I have for the game and how I see the potential for greatness in it. It
has been noted, absolutely. Thank you, man.
Okay, well, any final thoughts that you have?
Well, I just want to thank you for doing this. I mean, this is really cool to see people live, you know, not just on the forums or in the other messengers and stuff like this, but seeing people live with you right now talking about this and letting us know exactly all the issues. And I just want to say, guys, It's been a kind of crazy ride for us, but we're not gonna abandon you. We will not shut down. We will not do anything stupid. We're gonna continue on doing what we do, and we're gonna believe in what we believe in what we're gonna do, and then create even better game.
Yeah.
A lot of things ahead.
Good. Well, I'm enjoying the game, and gosh, there's some easy issues to fix, and if those can get fixed, it's going to make such a big improvement.
Marcus, you should, if you have a chance and time, please stop by our forums and tell us what those easy things you're talking about. I would love to actually read them and then pass this to the team.
Okay.
And I tell this to everybody in the community, guys. Keep coming with ideas and stuff that you have to fix for us, and I'll make sure that these gets delivered to the team.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Roman. I really appreciate you calling in on the show tonight.
Thank you so much, Marcus.
Feel free to call in anytime.
You got it, my friend. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Oops! I cut him off while he was saying "Have a good evening." I'm sorry about that. So. Okay, well, that was kind of an unexpected call. That is cool to hear Roman's passion for the game and his desire to make the game as good as possible and everything. And so I appreciate that, and it gives me a little bit of hope for the future of the game. And I do, when I complain about the game, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I almost always have a solution that I include. And hopefully, well, obviously Roman's been listening, and so when it applies to his stuff, maybe some of that stuff will get fixed. I don't know that I've complained about the artwork too much. So, and my only one point that I had, which was about how I changed it to the lowest graphics settings so that I could get a better play experience and see the other players to kill them easier. You know, he brings up a really good point that a lot of first-person shooter games and stuff, a lot of professionals do that, and that's why they do it, because they are able to get a better advantage in the game. So, okay. Well, I think we have time for one or two more calls, and so here we go. Hello, Magician. You are on the air. Hello. Hello, Mr. Magician. You're on the air.
Oh, hey. So I was just watching you talk with Russian Caliber, and I mean, a lot of people in the chat wanted you to ask the thing about the Walking Dead rip-off images, but sincerely, I don't think that's much of a problem. It's more like
he actually said that he wasn't in charge of the web department, and that's where those images come from, I believe. So,
yeah, I really think that would be a bigger problem if it was like something of a game engine or something they stole from a game. But yeah, so ideas for the game.
Yes. So, Magician, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I really don't do much of life. I basically stay at home and play video games every day and study, and that's all basically.
Sounds like a hard life.
Yeah.
So, if you were developing a game, what would your game be?
Well, first of all, I'm not going for zombies.
Okay. Okay, so that's one mark against zombies.
Hey, I'm a hipster. Okay, so yeah, I will do something like, let's suppose, I don't know, meteors fell from the sky and people went to bunkers. Then they get out in a later date, and there's just a couple of people left on the earth, and they have to deal with like problems and conflicts and such.
And so an apocalypse,
even though that would be a bit good.
Dinosaurs and hookers, yeah. So an apocalypse situation.
Yeah, I mean, like dealing with other players most of the time is harder than dealing with zombies and such.
The players in War Z are definitely a bigger threat than the zombies.
So I mean, is it really much of a problem if you take out the zombies and allow just players and like transactions and such and trying to make peace treaties and stuff?
So we could completely remove zombies. What would be there for like something to be of conflict? You know, what's the danger element? There needs to be a danger element other than just players. So
yeah, I mean, like could be environment dangers like radiation and such, or even like enemies, like basic enemies, or NPC humans, or like feral dogs or something.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now, if we move forward in development with this game, you know, that we're talking about, that we're, you know, fantasizing at this point about, what would you help with it? And if you did, what would be your part in it?
Well, I mostly do art stuff. I mean, I am currently studying on graphic design and such. So I guess I would basically do whatever Russian Caliber does at the moment.
Ah, yes. So you would help with the art. Okay. Well, if we decide in the future that we are going to actually build this game, I want you to be involved. And so please do keep an ear open for that. And thank you very much for your call.
Okay, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yep, take care. Okay, one last call here. Hopefully it's not a troll. Hello, Wolfie. You are on the air.
Hello, Markee.
How are you?
I'm actually surprised to get on, but
yeah. So, Wolfie, before you start in, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I play in most games as Wolfie X, and I've been playing video games since I was about 3. Started with the Atari 2600. But other than that, I pretty much play games. I work full time, go to school full time, all sorts of stuff. It's my free time.
So if you were making a game, you were in charge of the development, and there was no obstacles in your way, what kind of game would you make?
Well, you see, the thing about the whole zombie thing, people don't really. It's limited. I would more go with a mutant type of thing, because then you can have zombies and you can have other things like, let's say, some big creatures or something. They're just mutated into different things. Also, you have to have some sort of buildable aspect to the game. Like I said, forts, houses, things like that. You need to have some sort of way to make building blocks for that. And it's kind of something that I see as most of these games would need in them. Personally, I see there's just not enough to do in the game, right? For as far as War Z goes.
Yeah. Well, now, don't you think though that the players can make can make everything in the game? Does there need to be a a storyline in place for the players, or can the players not make up their own?
More towards the players making up their own storyline. There can be like a kind of like a what happened before that became like this kind of storyline, but I think really in the game, players need to make their own.
And as far as now, I have a question for you about should a game be sandbox to where you can build stuff like you do in Minecraft, or should it be more so where this is the land, and if you're going to build a house, well, you just go and buy a deed and you place a house type of thing?
I think it should be truthfully more sandbox. I mean, I think players, that's why Minecraft has done so well, is because players pretty much, they can build anything. They can build towers, pits, traps. It's pretty impressive. I mean, as you said, the Starship Enterprise someone made. It's insane what they can build. But when you add that aspect, people are allowed to be much more creative with the game, and it gets them much more enticed into it, because then they can make exactly what they want.
Right. Yeah.
Rather than having some predestined item that you can only like, oh, let's set up a house.
I think that people's imagination is much more powerful than any content we could ever develop in the game.
Yeah, that's correct. And I mean, it entices the players to actually go more and dig more deeply into the games that you are using.
Okay. So, Wolfie, if you were going to help us in developing this game, what would your place be in helping us?
For me, I'm pretty good at ideas, and I did a lot of administration. I ran a server of probably about 200 people for probably a good 2 years or something like that. Can't remember exactly, but I ran a server for a long time on Minecraft. That's pretty much what I did.
Yeah, selling ranks.
No, I assigned ranks relatively. I didn't know. That wasn't how I ran things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your call. I appreciate it. And you have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, so I think that's about it for this evening. We're a little over 2 hours. Actually, with the pre-show, we're 2.5 hours. And so that's about all I can take for the night, because tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, we will be live streaming. Our clan is going out and looking to kill 100 players in War Z. And we are going to be working hard on that. We tried last week, and we got to 71 kills, and then all of us ran out of resources. We were all out of guns, none of us had bats, all that stuff. And so this time I have, I think, 60 guns? 70 guns? Something like that. I have a shitload of guns. I have a few melee weapons, and I have a lot of stuff, and I'm really looking forward to going out there and just blasting the hell out of everybody. And Sojerd, which I think I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but you are welcome to join us. And if you are looking to be against us, like in the past, like I said, we'll be on Australian server number 261. And so that's where you can find us, and we will look forward to you attempting to kill us again. So that is it for this evening. And take care, everybody. And next Friday night, we'll do it again. And don't miss the show tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. That is, 10 hours from now. So, let's do it. Take care.
You like that, don't you? See, my eyebrows are even black. Have my aunt put it on. Makeup. Yeah, it's not really dyed, the eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? Which means before you were born! put it on makeup. Yeah, it's not really dyed, the eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? You like that, don't you?